6.2.1 brought us a new amplifier roll system, new updates to Uprisings, and Conquest Changes. So we'll talk about that and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 373. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Going pretty well. We just finished our Ops night, which is always fun. Right now we're working on veteran mode, Scum and Villainy. This is our second week in there, and we have found that the first all the bosses that are not Styrax are really not a challenge, and then Styrax is kind of kicking us in the butt on the enrage timer. But we had a fun night of trying it. We got farther than last time by a large margin. And, that's what Ops is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this week during MFN, we went roaming around the galaxy and we did some world bosses that we don't normally do, like the one on Dromacaz and et cetera, as well as, like, we would go to a planet.
On
Balmora.
Balmora.
Yeah, so like BC had it all planned out, which ones to go to, and then on that planet we would kill the world boss and then rampage on that planet. Although I guess we can't call it rampage anymore, but kill critters on that planet until we got to the conquest thing. So we would like world boss, then run around killing, then world boss, and run around and killing. And it was really fun. We had a good night. And I've also on my own characters been kind of gotten back into my conquest groove. I don't know. I can't explain it, but like I log in a character and I think, okay, I'm going to do this and that, and the other thing. And I think, well, after I do that, I'll just log into this other character and do this other thing. And then that one gets to conquest. And yeah, it's pretty addicting for me. It's like potato chips, You can't just get one character to conquest. It's just like nothing to do with SWTOR, but I downloaded this trial for this
program?
app called no, we weren't talking about
that pre-show.
Yeah. This one's called Paprika. And it's so I went around and typed into it all the food that I have in my pantry, my fridge, my freezer.
Okay.
And
yep.
And then the idea is, then you also import recipes and all that stuff. So the idea is you do is like a little bit of meal planning. And what I'm looking for it to do is to help bring those things into my vision that I buy and then never end up using. So the ultimate goal is to save money and save food, but also just to know and use what I've got and not end up with like three open bags of marshmallows.
Yep.
So we'll see. It didn't take long to input all the data. I thought it would take longer than it did. The trick is going to be whether I get it, keep it updated. But it's got a lot of really cool features. So if you want to add recipes, one way you can do it is it has a browser built in. You just go out on the internet and look for whatever recipe. And then when you find the recipe that you want, you just hit the download button and it downloads the recipe into its little database. And then you see it in Paprika just as a recipe with the ingredients and directions and everything, but none of the bloggy stuff in the beginning about your grandmother's porch in June and all that stuff, just the recipe. And then you can click on it and it'll make a grocery list. You'll be able to see which stuff you already have in your pantry. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. Plus I spent some time doing the thing. Anyway, I like a piece of software that works.
Yeah.
So far it's working.
Yeah, if it's good software, then it's the job. That sounds good. Hey. So
anyway, yeah, that's what I've been spending my time. That Conquest and Paprika.
Sweet. Probably at the same time. You can sort of do Conquest on the side while you're entering recipes. I get that.
So anyway, how have things been going for you?
Pretty good. I did enjoy that world boss night. we've had a lot of new people join. We were doing the first Andromeda Cost, which is one of the first two world bosses you ever encounter. And we had 6 people out of the 20 or so that we had in the group that got an achievement, had never killed that boss before. And throughout the night, we're killing some of these real early world bosses, and it was great. We've new people to the game, never played before, great opportunity. Come join our Tuesday mandatory fun nights with Alea Iacta S, aie-guild.org. There's there's the shout out. We love having the new people join and talk to them, talk about the game, point them at things like SWTORista's Academy series, our old podcasts, and get everybody set up. It's been really fun. I did have fun with that. I've been doing a little testing of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. We did a little bit of Force Science testing, at least the first boss and one of the Uprisings on both Vet and Master. That was interesting. I did some amplifier rolling. We'll show off that and how that sort of works and what I did and what my plan is and how I'm going to go about tuning my amplifiers over time. And then just general tweaks and cleanup. Big news. I got my sixth piece, six snakes.
That's easy for you to
She
say.
sells seashells by the seashore. I got my 6th piece of Apex Predator tonight, finally, just random drop. And that means that I at least have the opportunity, if I feel like it, to go try out the spec that I've been waiting to get 6 pieces for, which is Arsenal. I used to be Arsenal back in the day for the past 2 patches, the 5 and the 6 series of updates for a while now, a couple years. I've been Innovative Ordnance. I may try Arsenal again. We shall see.
Oddly, we had like 3 drops of Apex Predator tonight after like months of none.
That is an odd number. You are correct. And with that, why don't we talk about the news?
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
Although, just to finish off on that, yeah, we had a lot of Apex Predator. That was kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Especially getting a piece and them being the wrong pieces and then getting a piece and it being one of the 2 that I possibly need. Mind blown. That doesn't usually happen to me. Anyway, in the news, first up, there is a bunch of stuff in the bug tracker. A lot of it is related to 6.2.1. You can look it up. A lot of it, as you look at it in the bug tracker, is really saying, yes, this is known, it's in the known issues, or this is one that's a follow-up on a known issue. So a lot of it is known issue kind of stuff. Check it out. I didn't even highlight anything big out of there. We've got a couple other ones in the news here that are a little bit more specific. But bug tracker still cracking along. Natha, thank you for all the work.
Also speaking of bugs, someone posted that in the Spirit of Vengeance flashpoint, that there's a change to the jumping puzzle in there. And then there was a lot of responses by people saying, how to get around it, or that, if you can't do that puzzle, then why are you even alive? And how bad BioWare is for making these ninja changes. And Jackie posts, "Oh, thanks for letting us know. This was unintended. We'll see about fixing that." And then they went on talking about why would they change this and la 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 la. So you don't need to read that thread. Sometimes they say it's a good thread. Check it out. This one you don't really
TLDR,
read.
don't read this.
You can die happy without reading this thread. But if you notice this change to the jumping puzzle in Spirit of Vengeance, it's going to be fixed.
Well, I did notice a change, and maybe it's something different. I ran it in story mode because we had a whole bunch of people that are fresh to the game and they have like a brand new 75 and 270 gear and jump in there and it's kind of tuned for not fresh character you've not played before. You're just going through the story all the way through the end the first time, and then you get in there and it gets a little crazy. Full 306 tuned out gear with your amplifiers and augments and and set bonuses and stuff. I didn't have any problems. I just flew right through it. I did notice, and maybe I did something wrong, I don't know, on the jumping puzzle part. I jumped one time and then I walked along the wall and just walked over to the side. I didn't have to do the other jumps. So I didn't know if I thought, oh, they just made it a lot easier because people are falling or something. or I hacked the system or something. I don't know. So maybe. Also, there was a post, and this is sort of interesting, not something we pay attention too much, but the Answers HQ, which is the external non-SWTOR forums version of the place that you post questions and answers. There's a new sub forum on Answers HQ for bug reporting. This is accessible to people that are preferred and free to play. You can report bugs in here if you are free. In particular, you can't post on the forums, the official forums. So it's a good place to go after that, and post that kind of stuff.
And also there was a pretty well, I'll just say long, but there's a lot of stuff in there. Post from David Stats about the Conquest changes and the feedback for the Conquest changes. And one thing he sort of laid out was that their efforts to keep crafting a vital part of Conquest while closing off the loopholes that were allowing people to exploit. And he also went through some math and showed that you can now make Conquest actually by crafting fewer things in this system than you could in the old system. So people that are feeling limited in the crafting, that was to answer that. So I personally don't use Crafting Inventor and Crafting Inventor 2 to make Conquest that often, so I don't know if it's easy or hard. Do you do it, Max?
I don't. No, I don't very often. So what I do is I do it once in a while on a character that I'm already doing a ton of crafting on, like I'm making a bunch of augments on my arms tech. Then I will end up getting a random number of points.
Yeah.
The key I think that they were sort of going after is the people that were doing it infinitely, and not to get conquest on a particular character, but to push conquest on, like, for their guild and get a million points on a character, and because it was the way it was, automating it, scripting it, macroing it. So that was the bad part.
Yeah, that was clearly what they were after. I just wondering if people who do use Crafting Inventor in a more, reasonable way. Like one thing they used to use Crafting Inventor for was if you had a character that was, say 45,000 plus points, and you didn't want to use, advancement reputation, right, and get another 35,000 points, that you could use Crafting Inventor to get a few
Mm-hmm.
points and put you over 50, and then you still have the big one to use on a different character.
Right.
So that was one of the things that he said, feedback that he heard, and that people possibly what we want to fulfill that is like more like filler activities that would provide low points.
Yep. A quick side thing, Seema. My voice is
Am
coming
I?
back a little bit through your speakers.
Oh,
And
my speakers are turned off.
oh, is it coming back through your headphones? I don't know.
I guess so. I'm turning you down on my headphones a little bit.
I am so loud. I am annoying that way.
How about now? Can you still hear me coming back?
Check, testing, check. No, that looks like it cleared it up. Thank you. The thing I liked about this in particular was, as the post was finished off and as David Stats went through all of the rationale of why they were doing it and exactly how they did it and what they were trying to work around and what the effects were, he also then said, hey, in addition, I'm looking through this thread. This is the feedback I see. This is what I hear you saying. Let me summarize it and feed it back to you. Let's make sure that this list is complete, and know that we are actively discussing ways that we can address both the viability and importance of crafting and conquest. I thought that was a really healthy way to go after the feedback as well, to take it, to bullet point it, to summarize, read it back, and make a concerted commentary on how they'll look at it and what they might do. So I really appreciated that.
He also answered the point that people made that it's felt like they were singling out crafting. And he pointed out that they had also made similar changes in other areas, not just crafting. For instance, there used to be they made this defeat Sky Troopers 2, which you could go into a chapter and do into a daily repeat for that same reason.
Right. Also in the news, we continue to have Jackie being the hero not the hero we deserve, but the hero we need right now. We're going back and forth on what exactly she is, but she's a hero. She's a hero.
Yeah.
She's responding to quite a few of these posts in the forums, continuing to reinforce the right ways to be reporting harassment, and also just trying to be the positive force, that the change that we want to see in the world. In particular, there's a few of these kinds of posts, and these are really rough to even read, coming at it from any position of having sort of, empathy at all for anyone other than your point of view. And maybe, maybe this person really is being harassed in some terrible ways, and that would be really bad. But there's a lot of assumptions made in these kinds of posts that saying, hey, this thing happened, or I see this thing happen, so I assume this is all of the way you, all of BioWare and Jackie and everybody behave, and this is all of what you do, and yada yada yada. So she clarified that there is a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes that you may not see, and there are accounts being suspended or banned because of harassment just in the forums. This kind of stuff happens. An anecdote that goes against that isn't necessarily the trend or the data. And because you don't see it going on doesn't mean it doesn't happen. In fact, you will not see that kind of thing go on. They're not going to call out people and say, hey, that Smacky Joe on the forums, he was a jerk and we banned him. So ha ha. Nobody's going to do that. That's not the way to handle that in a professional way. So try not to make those kinds of assumptions. Continue to be positive in your reinforcement of the positive things that you see, and continue to use the official methods for reporting harassment in the way that they're intended, because they do take action and use them in the way that they're supposed to be used. How about Guild and Community news, Seema?
So the big news is this Friday, March 12th, Mega. Marcus is going to take us through some PvP and some asteroid smashing, or should I say ship smashing on asteroids. In case you don't know, we can do just PvP within the guild using either the Rishi Stronghold or using a guild instance of a war zone. You don't have to go and experience. Okay, what am I trying to say is you can come and it's a quote unquote safe place to PvP. I don't even know what those words mean.
You're not going to get thrown to the wolves. You're not going to get dumped into a pool of.
And if you go into GSF, someone's going to help you figure out how to drive your ship and all that stuff. It's not. It's intended as a fun evening. Maybe you'll learn a few things. So do come. It'll be 9:00 Eastern, Friday night, the 12th.
Yes. So hopefully you're hearing this live, or you downloaded it, and hopefully I got it up on the feeds quick enough for you to hear it. If you're just hearing it as soon as it got downloaded, it's probably tonight. So be ready. Yeah, the GSF stuff is pretty fun. What you do is you set up 2 guild groups, you challenge each other, you pick a GSF map to go into, and then everyone gets into the GSF map and we say, press X. Okay, now your ship has stopped. Let's talk about how to make your ship stop, how to make your ship go, how to turn yourself right side up if you get all disoriented, how to look at the map, how to target something. That's really confusing in GSF. You might have your little lasers, pew, 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 going right at, straight towards something and wonder why nothing is getting hit, because there's a targeting system. So we'll get to go through all of those kinds of things, talk about some of the different methods for outfitting ships. And maybe that night, and then this will turn into a podcast episode as we said down the road, I will talk about what I do after one match in GSF that I can get a full set of ships that can perform relatively well and complete the GSF weekly on one character in 5 matches. It is really, really effective way to get a character to conquest when you're trying to get character after character after character on a galactic rampage, win a
Total
planet,
Galactic
total
War. Yeah.
galactic war rampage, win things, win planet title thing.
Yeah, that thing.
All right. We also have our achievement and flashpoint groups on Friday nights, which will not be tomorrow night, but continue to rotate back and forth. That is really cool. And what else we got coming up in a couple weeks? Guest appearance of some awesome people on an awesome podcast, Seema.
The 100th episode of Working Class Nerds coming up at the
Awesome.
end of this month. Yeah.
Is it the 25th?
Yep.
25th. Okay. It'll be the 25th. I have question mark, TH.
It's the 25th. Yeah.
On the question mark of March.
And Marcus said he set up a Google voicemail if you want to call in and leave a message for us.
Something. So follow up
Yeah.
on the tonight's episode of Working Class Nerds, the 11th, March 11th episode of Working Class Nerds, where they talk about what's going to go on the 25th and some special things that are set up and how you can be part of the show yourself. That's cool. Also, a shout out to a regular in the community, content creator in their own right, and in the chat room right now, Sir Galahard. Sir Galahard has some YouTube videos up and a YouTube channel that you can go and find by Sir Galahard. That also just got on his YouTube feed, apparently, an interview with Max and Seema.
Who are they?
Yeah. So
That sounds boring.
yeah. I'm sorry that that you're forced to post that content, Sir Galahard, but hopefully that'll open the way for more interesting and more popular people to be on your YouTube channel as well. But no, yeah, that was really cool. And a shout out to everybody else in the chat room. Really cool tonight. Oh, look, there's even Zen. We've got a lot of the usual suspects. Some people popping in and out. I saw a lot of community people: Marcus, Wotarista, Kogus, a lot of our usual Cybercat Dan and Sir Galahard, Dark Light Wolf. Very cool to see everybody in there. Zen calling in from Australia during work hours to listen in on the podcast. We always really appreciate that. Let's talk about, though, the game that is a changin'.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
The deal has been altered slightly. Not a huge update, but we've been waiting for this a little bit. There's a few significant things that we'll go through. We waited till we got a little bit of time with it, but we'll sort of break it down in detail. We'll talk about some of the things that we've tested out. We'll show off, in particular, the Uprising, talk about Uprisings and show off the amplifiers specifically. And then we'll touch on a few of the other items in general. And maybe by the end, and we'll be really spoiler, we'll flag it as spoilers before we get to it. But I have a couple comments on the story beat item that happened and came up this update as well. Let's kick it off right away with the Uprisings, because you and I were both testing it for science, weren't we, Seema? Trying to see what it felt like to have these updates. And what do you think it felt like? Seema? Anything?
You mean, you can't hear me when I'm on mute? That's
I could
crazy.
not. There we go. I'm clicking over like, is everything broken? Did I unplug the plugs? Am I still on the internet?
I muted my mic, I thought temporarily so that I could slurp my glass of water, but I forgot to unmute.
Delicious water.
So what I was saying was that we did exhaustive testing.
Yes.
To say we went into one uprising and killed one boss.
Twice.
And here's
But yeah,
we did it twice and in two different forms. We did it the two of us, and then we did a full group. So it seems very similar to me. I think the main difference is, and after I reread the patch notes too, it seems like the biggest difference is you can go in at level 75. You don't get synced down to level 70. What I didn't think about when we were in there were the mobs level 70?
No, that's a good question. I doubt it because they felt the same and we would have destroyed that place if they were level
But
70.
if they up the difficulty
All right.
and they felt the same, so
Okay,
see
while we are talking here, I'm gonna abandon
go
Firefrost. This is the little place on the fleet. I don't know if you guys have looked around at the decorations of where you pick up the uprisings on the fleet, but it's a nice little bay, and they've got like the little hologram. This, it's sort of tracking down. Remember that the idea of the uprisings is this is in the middle of the Zakul occupation of the galaxy, pretty much. So Arkin has set up these. This is like the sky fortresses are all over the place. Uprisings are happening. Was this? Maybe this is right after. Yeah, this is right after that you take down Zakul. There's stuff happening. There's uprisings going on. There's little rebellions happening. That now that there's this space to breathe, and you need to go, sort of clean up the place. This one, Firefrost, happens on Hoth, down in a cave in a lava cavern in Hoth, and there's some it's like smuggler types, pirates who are grabbing weaponry and melting it down and causing problems with it. So I'm going to give it zone in here. Yeah, right after coffee, not Kotet. Galahard is saying. Can you still solo master mode uprisings? So Zen, that is maybe the key difference. So it didn't seem very different to us, but we do know a couple people that have been soloing a couple of the master mode uprisings. I don't think you could even solo all of them necessarily, but the consensus was in general that no, it does not seem you can solo those master mode uprisings like you could in the past. So it may be a little bit more difficult. The other thing I just thought of as we were talking about it, Seema, is we went in on our fully 306 set bonus endgame characters, and I'm going to die here because the waves just keep on coming. They are 75.
and you're on vet mode?
I'm on vet mode, yes. And I don't even have a companion out. But I've got responsive safeguards. Ha ha. That's going to keep me alive for five seconds. So yeah, it's for people that aren't level 75 and full set bonuses and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it is quite a bit more difficult than it was because they were down synced to 70 and power capped and all of that. We have the full bonus of everything that we've got at 75 that scales up. So there's that. Otherwise, I think it seemed pretty similar to me at that full 306 full set bonus level. We did it. Seema and I did a 2-man vet mode, and then we brought in another DPS and a tank, and Seema healed. So full party for a master mode. We just scaled the first boss on Firefrost, which was one of the easy ones, but we had just done that in master mode a couple weeks ago, so we had a good feel for it, and it felt pretty much the same.
Yeah, so I guess the main difference with the levels is you can still go into story mode and veteran mode at level 70 and the mobs will scale to you, but if you want to do master mode, it now requires level 75.
Got it. The other thing though is that now you're getting appropriate loot.
Mm-hmm.
We did not kill the final boss, so that's still an open question for us. Do you get a guaranteed tactical drop like you do in flashpoints off the final boss? Off the first boss, we were getting scads of, between
tons of loot.
302 to 306 random drops on running gear, mods, enhancements, all that kind of stuff, and the occasional other weird piece. Nothing all that interesting because we're fully geared out, but between 6 and 8 pieces, it seemed a bunch of stuff was dropping off of that boss. So good. and a bunch of renown points, like a lot of renown points. So if you are still into Uprisings and still needed to go through and get all your master mode achievements, we encourage people to get them done before this change went in. And I know a couple people in our guild did and got all of their achievements done. There are still a couple people that have some of the sub achievements, like the special achievements on the side. I think you'll still be able to get those done. You'll just have to get a full group and make sure everybody's geared out. Amplifiers. Ours go to 11. I think we even had a podcast episode talking about amplifiers titled "Our Amplifiers Go to 11." Anyway, have you re-rolled any of your amplifiers this week?
No,
No, you
no.
have
I
not.
mean, the only amplifier re-rolling I really do is if I need a few points for Conquest, and then I do it on some piece of green gear.
Mm-hmm. So that you can get the Conquest points, and you don't really even care what you rolled. You just click roll once, and that gets you the Conquest points.
Right.
But
and
you don't have legendary level amplifiers on all of your pieces, though, do you?
Nope.
No, but I don't die in operations, so
Yep.
I guess it
It's
doesn't really
hard
matter.
for me. It's hard for me to get excited about amplifiers. When we're, yeah, if I was pushing content, then that might be a different thing. But so the UI is new, the costs are new, but my interaction with them is exactly the same.
For me, this has incented me to work on upgrading all of my amplifiers to the gold tier, to the top level tier.
I can see why, yeah.
Which I had not done before. And in fact, I already went through and rolled a bunch of the amplifiers, spent a couple million credits, and this is my plan. So this is how it works. When you want to roll an amplifier, you now have the option to click on quality lock. This pop out, some people are debating whether they like it being popped out all the time. I would love it to pop in and pop out and have you like have a little right arrow here and pop it out so it's not hanging out there all the time. Anyway, that shows each piece of gear and the amplifier on that piece of gear, so you can go all the way down this list and just click this roll button right next to it. That's pretty nice. I like this when I'm looking at my amplifiers. Then you'll see the amplifier, you'll see the opportunity to roll, you'll see the cost of the roll, and you'll see this little lock, this quality lock button. What that quality lock button does is takes the quality level of the amplifier and locks the roll, the potential rolls that you get at that level or above. Pros and cons to this. So just to be clear, there are 4 levels. There's white, green, blue, 5 levels. White, green, blue, purple, gold. Even within those levels, there's a little bit more variation. There's like two golds and things like that. But when it's a blue amplifier and you click on prototype locked, you will roll blue and above only. So that's nice, but you can't, and this is what I thought you were going to be able to do, is right out of the gate, click it and lock it to the top tier, to legendary tier. That's kind of what I was hoping. No, you lock it at, like this one is periodic intensity and it's the blue level. If it's prototype locked, that's as high as I can go. And when I click recalibrate, I will get blues and above, but I will not get, but I will still get blues. And until... So say I finally got periodic intensity and a purple one popped up and I update because you're going to update anyway. Now I can prototype lock at the purple level and I'll get purple and gold only, but you can't go right to only rolling legendary levels.
So that keeps you from just switching so that you can start over.
To switch to another one that starts at green potentially.
Like since you can't go straight to gold, you have to work your way up.
Even so up the cost. All this is doing is now making me have to deal with RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. Because now I'll, if I started at green, for example, and then I got, then the blue popped up, is like, fine, okay, and I can update to the blue, and then I can roll again. But fine. That's the way it works.
But with the old system, it could go back to green.
Right. But at least you felt like it was just one roll over and over and over again. So there was that. This is much better than the old system. Not saying that. Because the other way the old system worked was the cost went up each time you rolled, and the cost never went back down. The costs reset weekly. So that's what Zen just asked in the chat room. Weekly, as you re-roll, the cost goes up each time you re-roll. So it was like 80K to roll it the first time, recalibrate. I don't want either of these. I click recalibrate again. It went up to 84. Now it's up to 87. I can recalibrate again. Now it's up to 91. It'll keep cranking up and up and up and up. The higher the quality, the higher the costs as they go up. And then after a week, I think at weekly reset, I didn't see the exact time, but once a week either after a week's amount of time or at weekly reset, I would expect it'll reset. It'll reset down to the base cost. So my plan is Tuesday morning, I'm going to get in. I'll load up a couple million credits on my character here. I'll roll, see what I get, see if I get any upgrades. And I expect slowly over time to push all of my amplifiers up to 2.2% periodic intensity. That's what I'm going for. Now, with that in mind, Seema, does that make so that's just one more, and then I've got one more thing after that even that might make you want to roll. Now, does that make you want to roll to get those top amplifiers for your class?
No.
No. How about this?
I mean, how about this? How
But
about
wait,
if I
there's
throw
more.
in?
And there's one more thing. Now, and this actually interested me. It got my attention. The armoring pieces are where you get your main damage or your main class ability amplifiers. So all I really care about for operations is periodic intensity. And this one's green because this is on the headpiece, which is amplified champion, and that's the top level that it can go. It can only go up to green. The rest of them I can get all to gold. So you should have one that is green in your list, because everyone should have one piece of amplified champion, because that's an extra slot on top of all your other slots. Anyway, the thing that got my interest is the secondary ones, the extra middle on the mods, like either the goofy ones like here, featherweight, reduces damage from falling, or the potentially very useful crew mission and crafting amplifiers. So here I've got 1.5% efficient scavenging. If I can just spend, a couple credits here and there and spin some of these secondary ones and see if I get something that's more interesting to me than what I've got, I wanted to do that. I like here, this operation rewards. I don't really care about that. We've got everything we want. I might re-roll that. Let's give it a little bit of quality lock here. Recalibrate. Efficient scavenging. I like scavenging. And 1.5% efficient scavenging gold update. Boom. Legendary update. Yes. Okay. So that was
Oh my
there.
God.
I just had fun.
Efficient scavenging, that means a scavenging crew mission will finish faster.
Yes, but I do those quite often when I'm making augments in particular and run out of one of the grades of materials. I'll send all of my companions out.
It's 1.5%. So if it's like a 5-minute.
But I've got it on 2 characters. Now I'm up to 3% on 8 characters all out there. Well, I don't know. It's a little something. And here I've got 1.5% successful.
But didn't you just spend like 2 million credits on that?
No, it was only 80,000. Oh, maybe no, that was 400. No, that was 400K.
So if you do it on 2 characters, it's at least 800K, right? And then anything you did before that. So how does that?
Yeah, but what's 400K?
Yes, but what's a second and a half? Where's your return?
No, those take like 15, 20 minutes.
That's even worse. So like 1% of 15 minutes that's what I'm saying. 1% of 15 minutes is
a couple minutes.
A small amount of time. And if you walk away or pay attention to something on your con call,
Seema, this is really important stuff. And Then fine. You know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get featherweight on all of my things, and then I'm gonna jump off of something and tell everybody else,
Right.
"Hey, come on, come,
Okay,
come
just
follow
saying
me."
I'm just saying efficient, no, but if it was like the
Oh
one
no,
that
actually,
up to
that only cost me 80K because it was blue. I got lucky and got the gold, but at the blue level, it was only an 80. That was only an 80K click. I don't need any of those. 84K. Uh,
I mean, to me,
this is
featherweight, I
okay.
would rather have featherweight because I've
Well, there you
always
go.
thought it was fun to jump off of high things and survive. However, the fact that it's imperceivable makes it just feel like throwing credits away to me, which
Imperceivable.
yeah,
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I cannot perceive the difference.
So.
Like if like unless I can see I could jump off of this wall but not this wall, right?
Well, let's
It doesn't
try
make any difference to
it.
me. So, then it's just like throwing hundreds of thousands of credits out the window.
Well, here we are on on the Imperial fleet, which has very few railings, but a lot of lack of
Well,
OSHA compliance. Uh,
it's not gonna help you at all here.
come here and jump off. We'll
You j you jump
you
off.
jump off. Anyway, so this is how amplifiers work. I approve of the update. I don't think it's 100% of everything I could have wanted, but it works a little bit better. And I think it is I do see people that have already taken advantage of this system to finish rolling all of their amplifiers in a way that that they were looking for. Uh,
So, if it made a difference that I could see, I would get more excited about it. Like, if I would went to gold on some crafting thing and then I felt like, "Wow, that was really a lot faster to do that thing."
mhm.
But just for it to be, like, intellectually, I know that it's faster by a little bit doesn't motivate me.
Right, right, right. But I get that, but that's also how MMOs kind of work. You get 0.5% more crit. Oh, goody. I guess that's good. Um,
Right, right. And
but
and I'm
yeah,
just saying for me, this is not a choice I would make. I would make some other
Starfighter
choice,
rewards.
which is also how MMOs work.
Wait, I'm gonna
You
take
don't have
this.
to do
No, I don't.
everything.
I don't use that. But Starfighter rewards, sure. But it's legendary. Okay. So that's Uprisings. That's amplifiers. Conquest. We saw the Conquest changes. We know that a couple of the objectives have changed slightly. I think the most glaring change for Conquest for me has been looking at people in the guild. I don't see anybody logged on right now, but if you've got somebody, we had a bunch of people that knew either new characters or new to the guild in the past week. Especially on Tuesday night, we had a list of characters. They'll show up as a gray. Their name will be gray on the list instead of lit up blue like this. That
Yeah.
is an indicator that they're in the guild, everything's fine, but they're not contributing to Conquest for that week until the next reset. So that was that was an interesting visual indicator that I hadn't expected and was useful information. I think that was one of the key changes that they made to work around some bad behavior by apparently by some guilds that were inviting especially new players, maybe even new to the game, having them, because you get a ton of conquest points when you level up a character, having them add a whole bunch of conquest points and then kicking them out as soon as they sort of got higher in level and the conquest points slowed down so that they could have room to be inviting more new characters. Very bad experience for the new players, not even understanding what's going on and just sort of getting taken advantage of like that. So I approved of the change from that perspective. It's a little bit painful for the guilds that might want to allow you to jump in with them if they're very serious conquest guilds and they are in the lead on a planet and that week you've been working with them over time and because they're in the lead you say I want to get my character in this week I just need that achievement on that planet to win my title. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore. That is a challenge. However, it's not really the way it was supposed to work anyway. If you want to do that, what you probably should be doing is working with a guild over time. Put a character in that guild and help them over time. Figure out what they're going to go for next week. Help them prepare. Don't just jump in at the last minute and ride their coattails and get an achievement. So I'm not too broken up about that, although I understand that it changes the behavior of some people, and it takes away a little bit of an opportunity there for some people to get their titles in ways that they were able to in the past.
I think the bigger thing for me is having that person's name grayed out in guild chat. It seems very, I don't know, dismissive in a weird way because like you've been grayed out.
Right. That, especially because it's for new people, it could seem harsh to them, or like there's some sort of problem, or there's something wrong with me.
Right.
That's
Or like
true.
yeah,
That's
like
an
you have
interesting
to do
point.
something special before I can be green like everyone else
You
or
have to
blue or
sing a
whatever it is.
song to Seema on Tuesday nights before.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Any song or a particular song?
It has to be the bacon pancake song.
Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So, yeah, you're right. So maybe there should be just, if they put it in just so you could see, a place they could sort of have it available to the people that care, put it in the conquest points column. If you click these little down arrows as you're looking at the guild interface, you have two sets of columns on the right where you have alternate data fields that you can add to that column. One of them is conquest points, so you can see the conquest points that everybody's had. If in that column, as you click down on the conquest points, it showed instead of the points total, it should show not available till next week or something like that. That might be a good way to
Mm-hmm.
make it not feel like there's something wrong or it's grayed out and you don't know what that means. Have it under conquest points, have it apparent, and have a descriptive.
Yeah. I mean, I think they
That's a
did what
great
they did
idea. I just
so
had
that
a
you would.
great idea.
Yes, Max, you had a great idea. That was a good one.
One. Good one. Okay.
Bug fixes.
Bug fixes. Plenty of bug fixes. Bug fixes galore. Anything really jump out at you that seemed interesting from a bug fix perspective that was of interest to you?
Oh, well, one thing they said they fixed that rocket boost would go on cooldown whenever you zoned into someplace new.
Yeah.
Or log in, which if that's true, if it is fixed, that would be awesome.
That's not bad. I saw this fixed a typo in the mission log for release the escape pod step of Tenebrae's final weapon. Release the escape. That's named after our podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
That element.
Obvious. I mean, obviously, yeah.
There are still some remaining bugs, and there are things in the known issue list that you might want to review. In particular, SOV, the latest Flashpoint. What is it?
Spirit of Vengeance.
Spirit of Vengeance. I every time I see SOV, I forget what it means. If I don't look at the acronym, I remember Spirit of Vengeance.
Right.
So Spirit of Vengeance has some bugs in it apparently, and people are running into a couple different bugs, multiple bugs. Some of those are in the known issue list. Some of them have been called out by Natha in the dev tracker. Take a look at the known issue list if you're having any problems in there. A lot of some of the more serious bugs of Spirit of Vengeance were fixed. Some still remain, and they will fix them up over time, I am sure. I am sure. I do not see in here, Seema, about key distribution for decorating guild strongholds and flagships. For guild
maybe that'll
masters.
be in the next one. Maybe that'll be in the next one, Max.
That is not in here. That is quite disturbing to me. Have I ever told? Are we at 1,000? I gotta kick some people out. We're at 1,000 members. We're capped. We're member capped. Why didn't anybody tell me? We have some old unplayed alts though. A lot of these are able to be kicked. So I will kick some out anyway. Guild interface. So look at this. If I go to, if I bring up the guild stronghold, and I go to guild, and I want to allow somebody to decorate our guild flagship. I have 100 pages with 3, 6, 9, 10 names per page in no particular order. They can be ordered by keys. So you could say, show me only bronze keys. So these are all the people, there's 97 pages of people that don't have a key that allows them to decorate the stronghold. And I would potentially want to allow everybody to decorate stronghold. Everybody's donating decorations. Everybody's got, putting stuff in. But sure, let everybody, we trust everybody. Everybody can decorate. I'm not going to go through 97 pages for one and click this thing every time. The second problem is when Seema says, hey, I got a new alt in there. Its name is Seema 115th. Can you give it a gold key? Here's what I need to do. 97 pages. Scan down, no particular order. Oh, not on this page. Click the next page. Now, I click the next page button. I can't just like scan and keep clicking next page because look at the tooltip. The tooltip is over the last name on the page. To even see, I got to like move my mouse away to see what the last name on the page is and then move it back and go to the next page. Move my mouse away. Oh, I don't see Seema 11th. No, go to the next. 97 pages of this, people. My eyes like bleed out of the corners of my eyes trying to do this. It drives me insane. This is the worst interface of any part of anything in Star Wars that they've ever implemented, and I don't know why. And this has been this way since launch. So there you go. It only affects guildmasters who are giving out keys for people to decorate their strongholds. I get it. It's a very small population. Maybe you don't want to spend that kind of dev time on it, but dang it, God doggone it, you better do it. Because I'm writing a strongly worded letter and I'm putting 2 stamps on it to make sure it gets to you there, Jackie. Because that's the official way to submit feedback, right? Written in handwriting and sealed with wax. I am riled up, as you can tell. Okay. One other thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up is the story beat. You did the little bit of the story beat. So if you have not done the story beat, it's very small, but we're going to speculate a little bit. So technically spoilers. This is your warning. This is sort of the last 5 minutes of what we'll talk about here anyway. And we can catch you next week. So there's your spoiler warning, story beat. Did you notice the choice at the end? It seemed like
Yes,
I got
I
the
did.
feeling of, well, two things. The in-character bit of the choice is, hey, do you want to be a jerk and set this guy up and to be a patsy and take him down? And it's Zenith. And even on the on the Imperial side, as the Imperial, commander and, the guy that I am, I'm recruiting all these guys, right?
Right.
So I want to recruit him. I don't want to just like throw him under the bus. So real short description. Lana tells you that she talked to the Voss people. She did a little meditating and everything's fine with Tenebrae and that's all shut down. But hey, Zenith is out there. There's this guy. There's this opportunity for us to get like these weapons. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by taking out this guy and taking out the weapons, and we'll set him up and knock him down. And, we're going to set him up to be the patsy and get arrested and take out the weapons at the same time. Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is what you're saying, but not only are you saying he's going to be your patsy, but you're tricking him into thinking that he's harming the imps when he's harming his own cohorts. Yeah.
Yeah, you scam him. You have him betray his own people, unbeknownst to him. It's really kind of nasty.
My character said no.
My character said no too, because if I want to, I would think if I want to recruit him, I don't want to like do something terrible to him and then say, oh yeah, sorry about that little thing where I made you like kill your friends. Uh, you wanna join my club? That doesn't seem very good. But that choice you get at the end seems relatively like a choice that might matter. You can either say, yeah, make the contact. Let's talk to this Zenith character. But the way you say it is kind of like, let's talk to him, not, yep, take him down, take him out, get him arrested. So after the fact, after I already chose, no, don't do that, I'm afraid that I chose wrong. And if I had reached out and we had like gotten into contact with him, then maybe that's the right choice for you to be able to recruit him. So I don't know. They didn't really telegraph very much what's going on there with that choice, and I feel like you could have messed it up. Not like I need another companion, but if you really
Yeah,
want
I
Zenith,
mean,
who knows at this point which of those two
I
choices are going to lead to.
well, now that you say that, I don't remember how it was worded exactly, but I got the feeling that you were deciding whether or not to do the plan.
Right, but if you don't do the plan, then is like you can say let the imps handle it, was what you said, and was what
Right.
I said. So if you say let the imps handle it and they just go and arrest Zenith and you never hear from him again, then is that it? And if in the next patch they have, well, if you reached out, even though you're going to try to set him up, now you get to talk to Zenith and maybe something and recruit him and blah blah blah. I don't know. It could go that way, and then you'll go, you know, I don't know. Then you'll regret this decision potentially if you really like Zenith as a character and you wanted him as part of your crew.
So, yeah. I mean, I guess if the way I feel about that is I could regret, like you say, maybe I will regret that, but I would regret it more.
If you had done it the other way.
Yeah.
And well, here's the problem. I watched the videos where you pick the other choice, and the other choice isn't, all right, he's arrested. It's, all right, we'll reach out and make the contact. But wait. That's not what the text of that said. It
I
said,
don't think the plan was never to go out and arrest him.
well, it's to set him up and then have him arrested with the after he after he
After he
betrays his.
after he does the job, right?
Yeah.
So you have to contact him to get him to do the
Yeah,
job.
right.
So that doesn't I didn't take that to mean that it wasn't going to be implemented in the way that you just agreed to. Or
Except if reach out to put that ball in motion has a stopping point at the very beginning. Is my only point there. Who knows? We'll see. I get that people want choices that matter, and maybe this was the choice that matters, and maybe you're not going to like that it was a choice that matters, and I don't like choices that matter, kind of,
I don't either.
because I
I don't
want the
I did
flexibility.
not vote for him.
Right. I
I
don't care about choices that
I
matter
don't want
in
a
a
choice that
mysterious
matters
way.
and right, if you don't know what choice you're making, it doesn't matter if it matters.
Hmm.
It's the same as not mattering.
Right. I don't want butterfly effect choices where, because you said, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, instead of nudge, nudge, wink, wink, these chain of events happen and now, 5 of your companions are dead. There you go. 2 years down the road. That, I don't want that. And that's what this feels like. This feels like it was not apparent where either of these things were necessarily leading to. And now I made a choice and potentially it's going to have consequences, but it was sort of relatively random and didn't really seem to have a clear path forward.
I gotta go do this on one of my sages and see how it goes. See if it's
That's
any
the
fun.
right place to do it because Zenith is a consular companion as well. And I meant to look that up and I asked in guild chat and no one had done it on a consular yet. That's the place to really check into this because that might be the only place that you actually get to talk to Zenith and recruit them. I think you might get a reunion in that case. I don't know. If you do know, write it in the comments somewhere in Discord or on YouTube at YouTube YouTube New Overlords on YouTube or AIE-Guild. You can get to our guild Discord in the upper right for New Overlords, because I think with that, we are about ready to wrap up this show. Thank you all for joining us. As we always say, we do this podcast for you. We're hoping that anyone who's especially new, but all old-time players, not old players, although old players as well, would come join us if it sounds like the kind of thing for you. AI-guild.org. Discord's in the upper right. You can check in, get into our guild Discord. AIE is in all of the games I'm playing a lot of. Let's see, this week I've played ESO, big content updates, and the opportunity to respec for free, so try out those new builds. World of Warcraft, Guild Wars had some of their cash shop free boost items in the store this week. Lord of the Rings, a lot of Valheim this week for me still. So a ton of things going on all across AIE. Our guild Discord shows all of the channels. You can jump down to the SWTOR channel. We have guilds on both the Republic and the Imperial side on Starforge. You can also follow me on Twitter at MaxTheGray and our SWTOR Escape podcast channel in Discord to see when the podcast goes live, usually on Thursday nights at 10:30 p.m. Central. We're very happy that you're here. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.